Welcome back to Week 3 of the 2014 NA LCS Spring Split. Joining me at the caster desk for 2 games. The next 2 games is Sam Kobe Hartman Kensler. Kobe, welcome to the desk.
Thank you.
I'm pretty excited to have you here. We're just minutes away from our 3rd match of the day, and that's Cop and Curse versus Doublelift and CLG. But first, let's check out what you've been saying on Twitter. Earlier, we asked you, who is the most underrated player in the NA LCS and why? And here are our favorite responses. JVOG says, I feel like Xpecial does not get the recognition he deserves. Might as well be Mad Life Jr.
I mean, Xpecial has been very good on Thresh especially, so I like the comparison there. But, man, Elimination in that last game might give him a little run for his money. An interesting little fact, by the way, that Freak pointed out as we were watching. Elimination had 5 activates.
I don't know if
There's a lot of extra buttons
I don't
there.
even remember to use one of my activates. Neferta tweets, the most underrated in the LCS is probably Balls. Meteos and High get so much love. The power of the Cloud9 top laner is to be feared.
I mean, you guys did point it out during the game, too, so I don't know about underrated. Everybody seems to think that he's an amazing top laner.
He had a damn good CS lead and a whole... Yeah, he had a good lead that game.
Yeah.
Chris Ring says in our next tweet, Shifter is the most underrated player in the LCS. He is a monster and deserves more recognition.
Oh, boom, man. We just put out a video package for him. It looks like we're stepping up our game. Good job, Riot Video crew.
And as always, we appreciate your input and applaud the efficient use of the 140 characters.
So keep hitting us up with your most underrated player answers. We're at LO Esports, and be sure to use the hashtag LCS.
Now let's send it over to Freak and Jat, who are joined by Cloud9's dynamic duo, Sneaky and Lemon Nation.
Thank you very much, Riv. Unfortunately, Jack got ganked, so he's respawning. He'll be back soon, though. Guys, congratulations on your win. I want to jump into the first topic, because you guys think it's interesting, too. So you're building Ezreal, Ruin King Shiv, Last Whisper, I Edge. Why this build?
That was actually the first time I've used it in all play together, like solo queue, scrims, and competitive. I backed with 1,400 gold, so I went the Borg first. And the rest of the build, I kind of just don't like Trinity Force anymore. I think it's kind of a weak item. Doesn't deal as much damage as it should.
Okay. Lemonation, I know you had 2 cents in this one as well.
Well, on the car ride over, I told Sneaky that on Ezreal, I think Botrika is quite a good build. Even though he's never done it before, I said, I don't think you should do it today since you haven't practiced it. But I don't know, he decided to do it.
So he obeyed you and disobeyed you at the same time.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel about your AD carry?
It worked out. It was a good build.
I guess it worked
Smart.
out. Fair enough. So you guys came into this game, and it was actually a really close match. About 23 minutes, it finally broke. Why was this game so close for you guys? You're a heavy favorite coming into this one.
I would say it's because of the cat dive bot where they got a double kill on us. It was a very good play by him to actually get through our ward so we didn't notice him at all and get that great dive on us right when they were level 6 and I was still level 5. So that kept them in the game and gave them an early lead.
Okay.
They also had like very good team fighting comp compared to us, where we had to play really well to actually come out ahead.
What was your mindset coming into this? As the AD carry, squishy, you're going to be one of the targets. How do you navigate this AoE team?
My role for most of those fights was basically just staying as far back as I can and dealing as most damage as I can to the front line. So whenever we were pushing towers, I was basically never hit it just because I was scared of Annie flashing on me or Wukong even stealthing in and just knocking me up and insta-killing me basically.
Okay, so we actually have a replay then of the 23-minute Dragon fight, if we can get that on your screen. Lemonation, this is the fight where you actually flanked around behind them on Leona, if you want to walk me through this battle.
Yeah. I actually sweeped the bottom bush, so I knew they didn't have any wards all the way down there. So they had no idea I was back there. I could just go there, go right behind Caitlyn, and get a really easy, just straight burst on him with balls.
And pretty much Sneaky, you're just safe the whole time.
Yeah, I took a little bit of damage from Annie ult, and then I had to bury there, and then I just stayed away from Katarina at that point.
And you guys clean up the rest of the kills, so good fight there. And of course, you actually mentioned to me off camera, you never had to flash in any of these fights.
Yeah.
Basically, completely safe the whole time.
Zero
Yeah,
flashes?
it is. I don't know why. I think I was just super far back, and with Ezreal's E, it's just super safe anyways, so I didn't end up needing it. There was one point where I was chasing Wukong into the bottom bush, where I was going to flash, but I was like, all right, he's pretty dead here, so I'm just going to save it.
So very low flash game, pretty good job then. So coming through, you've got, of course, 2 matches to go. Evil Geniuses tonight, and tomorrow TSM at the end of the day. How you guys feeling, both of you, about this match? The 2 matches, sorry.
I'm feeling pretty good about EG and TSM, although they will be hard matches for us. We've never actually played EG, and TSM is always going to be our hardest competition.
Lemon?
I actually thought we were playing EG first, so we're completely prepped for that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought. I thought that was our first match of the day.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you got about an hour you're going to play them. And then TSM, how do you feel about them?
We're prepping for that tonight, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Of course, you guys won the game. You're still half a game behind TSM for first place. We'll see if you can catch up with them. And, of course, we do have more action today, guys. Let's send it back over to Riv and Kobe for our next match.
Thank you very much, Freak. And, you know, I think that works out for them that they get to watch TSM tonight, or they get to watch that match. So it'll be good for them.
And plus, like Lemon said, he's already prepped for the next game because they thought it was going to be their first.
Absolutely. Well, let's dive right into our next battle, Voyboy and Curse versus Doublelift and CLG. This is a rematch of one of the stranger games we've seen so far this spring.
Yeah, so it started out with that now legendary Afro move, blue buff steal at level 1, where he just went in and auto-attacked it. And really, from there, it spiraled out of control from Curse. Dominate didn't get to do much from the jungle. First blood in that game came at 23 minutes, with it ending just 2 minutes later, and CLG getting 4 kills, shutting out Curse. So Curse is really going to need some more decisive shot calling if they want to have a better showing, because they never really took a chance in that game and made a move.
Right, and while Curse made mistakes, CLG did show they have a lot of what we call potential.
I do have to say that CLG's map movements in that game were really good. They went from one objective to another before Curse were able to react. But they are going to have to clean up some of those mechanical mistakes if they want a repeat win today.
And right, one thing that won't be repeated, as we mentioned earlier, Hotshot's performance. Today he will be out, and Chowster will be roaming around in mid for CLG.
So Chowster, he has started as support and as jungle for CLG last year, but he originally liked to play solo lanes. Way back when I used to play in Season 1, Chowster would play a lot of solo lane champions. He's always been very versatile and played, all of the roles. So I think it's very interesting how CLG keeps reaching into their very, very deep bag of ex-players that they have, and they keep on pulling out new guys and saying, now it's your turn to mid lane. Chowster actually pretty happy with this because he likes the lane.
Absolutely. While the first game between these two raised some eyebrows for just how unique it was, they are both expecting a different style of game the second time around.
Playing versus Curse in the first game of Super Week was kind of interesting because we were kind of screaming them beforehand, and they looked a lot more stronger, especially when we were helping them prepare for relegation matches. But that game sort of kind of wasn't how I expected it to be because it was just like a complete stomp.
Well, our first game was really poorly played by us. We kind of didn't expect an early pick at all, and then just kind of screwed with us, and they were able to just draw the game out, go for a poke comp, and we miscalled the 2v1, so that was not very good for us either.
I mean, all you have to do really is shut down Quas. He's their best player, and if he's not doing well, then they won't win. Generally, their mid and bottom are just too inconsistent.
Last time we just let the game go on, and they just poked us out. But if we are able to, I guess, get a lead early and snowball it, I think we'll be able to take it.
Did Cop just say they didn't expect a Nidalee pick from CLG? That's interesting.
They also said they want to snowball it early and take it, which is something we see them do around mid-game. So it'll be quite interesting. And it is interesting to hear Doublelift call out Quas as Curse's best player. That's something else because he's been there and there's a notability about him, but he hasn't shown super well.
Right, he has a really good reputation for his mechanical play.
Right.
And I think a lot of what Doublelift was calling him out for is stuff they've seen in scrims. And the potential that Quas has.
Absolutely. So right now, let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, it is Curse. Quas in that top lane, dominating the jungle, Voyboy in mid, Cop at AD carry, and Zken on support.
And on the red side, it's CLG. Up top is Nien. Jungle is going to be Link this time, and mid will be Chowster. AD carry is Doublelift, and supporting is Afro move.
I think an interesting matchup here between these two teams is Quas and Nien because they play a kind of a different style of champion. We've seen Karthus and Jax for Quas in that top lane, and Nien will bring the regulars except for his Zac pick, but Trundle, Mundo, Shyvana. So I like what they're going to have because none of that's going to be banned out, so they're going to get what they want.
Yeah, I am interested to see how that top lane turns out because Nien has had very strong early showings in top lane, but at some point, he usually hits this point where he goes for too much, and he either dives a turret or he starts pushing past the tower too much and gets caught. And he really he rides very high on the early confidence that he gets from doing well early in lane. So we'll have to see if he can keep his calm against Quas, because Quas pretty much never loses his cool.
Now, we talked a little bit about Chowster coming in here. Obviously going to be the big story of this matchup as Hotshot GG hangs up his mouse once again. What kind of does that provide you with? Isn't it an advantage?
All right.
Or can they kind of just easily ban you out from knowing what you played?
So Chowster prides himself on the knowledge that he has
The theory
spread
crafting.
out among every champion. So it's very hard to pigeonhole what champion he's going to pick here unless they've done very good research on, what has he just been spamming lately in solo queue or from their scrim partners, because he really prides himself on diversifying all of his knowledge. And if I was going to be just like a gut reaction, one of his favorites is Vladimir as a solo laner. So I don't know. They could come out with anything here. They've been practicing with their coach with Chowster for a little bit, so maybe they whipped up something special just for while Chowster's on the team.
Right, Monte Cristo is in town for them, so hopefully, instead of from abroad, it can be all done here at home, and it's going to bolster up the team a little bit because it's been shaky performance, shaky results. Champion Select will tell us really how the early game would start, and we'll see who gets the upper hand right here.
Yeah, since Chowster is not much of a Nidalee player, this time around, I'd have to say
yeah.
Cop, okay? This time I would be surprised if they did it because Link would be the Nidalee player, and since they're pretty sure he's staying in the jungle, I don't think they'll switch it up.
Say whatever they want and then choose to play it if they jump around. We'll see what happens.
Boy taking it easy here. Take my time. So, Jungle Pantheon, I don't know if that's ban-worthy. Everybody's just been sort of reacting to the successful game that Curse had with the Jungle Pantheon. I don't know if that's like a very high priority pick because a lot of other people have tried to use it, weren't that successful. And it's really just off that one super successful game that Curse had. Everyone's banning it now, which leaves up Wukong, which he loves. It leaves up Vi. It leaves up Elise. It leaves up Fiora.
You and your Fiora. The day we see it, though, I'll definitely give you a pound on stream. It'll be fantastic. I know you'll be excited. Looking for what Quas is going to ban out for the rest of the team. Not too much chatter. We see Aframu and Zken on your screen. And they're just kind of chatting it up. Quas typing in, and he gives the click to Elise.
So one of the reasons they were taking a while on those bans is because they were penalized the ban, apparently, from the last one.
Yep.
So they only do get 2 here. That was the last ban.
Right.
And this is now going to be the first pick for Curse. With the 2 sort of top junglers banned out here, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see those in the early picks. Because, like I said, sort of Wukong is up there on the same level of these 4 dominate.
This is definitely going to be a bit of an advantage with Chowster now being in the mix. Losing that ban helps CLG to really formulate a composition they may have wanted. They wouldn't have gotten with the third.
Yeah, and so we've seen Curse go with sort of general bans here. They're not
Right.
going to target Chowster like they targeted Hotshot. Hotshot's pretty easy for people to target because he's the type of player, like Jet says, that likes to master champions and plays the same one over and over. So everybody had a pretty clear idea of what they were expecting. But since Chowster plays so many different things, just go with the general bans, the strong lanes, trying to get those off the table.
We'll see what they pick, and they decide to actually take the mid laner. Boy gets Ziggs in this matchup, and we'll see what CLG favors with 2 quick picks, because they pretty much have whatever they want now.
And Curse continue on with this sort of general plan where Ziggs is really good all-around pick.
Good point.
Because he can see us from afar. He wave clears great. It's not really locking them into anything. Very safe first pick. The thing he does have to watch out for are now assassin picks because those are something that Ziggs is not going to have a lot of kill potential on these champions that can go all in. The thing is, Chowster, I don't know if he has the confidence to go for that kind of matchup.
Right.
Because if you go with an all-in champion like that, you have to know the damages. You have to have played it recently, because if you miscalculate a little bit, then you're going to get punished for the rest of the game.
The Gragas is still up, but they choose to go for a super heavy front line with the first 2 picks.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy there. The Dragon and the Crocodile. Now, like with those first picks, it almost makes me think that they might even look towards a Sivir or something to speed them up and make the backline super scary. But yeah, those are the jungle and top lane here. Very strong early for CLG. And whenever you match a strong top lane with a jungle like Shyvana, you're looking at possibilities of jungle invades even very early in the game.
This is actually a first-time pickup on Jinx for Cop, so they're going to be working with that this game.
So they're taking away the Jinx from Double Lift there.
Yeah.
I do always like that. But I think that Double Lift might, even with this composition, might be looking more towards a mobile AD carry with a dash of their own and not rely on the kill to get excited with Jinx.
Oh dear. I think it was back at MLG was the last time Doublelift played Urgot. Oh, but he locks in Vayne.
Yeah, that's why you just take a deep breath when he does that. Now
He's got a win loss on Vayne
now. Okay, I've got self-control here. It's more exciting though that Chaucer's going to go with this Yasuo. So I talked about wondering which champion Chaucer will play. Yasuo is a champion that a lot of people picked up in solo queue very quickly because he's super fun and he was new. So that's something I have confidence that Chaucer's well practiced on because he probably has been playing that since Yasuo came out, just like a lot of other mid laners. And it also combos pretty well. You know, Vayne's got a knockback that she can set him up with even. Shyvana as well. So we'll have to see what their support pick is because there's a bunch of supports that also have just displacements. Any sort of displacement is going to work really well with Yasuo.
And these pickups by Curse, I think, enough said. Pretty crazy. Nunu and Janna, last 2 picks.
Nunu and Janna. So Janna is one of those supports that works really well with Yasuo because she has so much displacement. So they're sort of taking that away. But Mundo, Nunu, and Janna, none of them add very much damage late game. So they're really focusing their carry efforts here on Cop. Cop is going to have to be a big source of damage late game. He's going to have to get in there and play aggressively. And then they've got just the area of effect from Voyboy there. Ziggs all around is pretty much going to be able to add damage at all stages of the game. But this is really a 2-threat team versus CLG, who always used to run 2-threat teams. Like that was one of the things people criticized them for, was only running
not having the 3rd threat. And also another thing that could work in CLG's favor if Curse can't get them to group enough is that split push that they love to do if things aren't going their way.
Yeah, Doublelift loves getting that lane to himself once he gets a Blade of the Ruined King on Vayne. And we'll have to see if they go for the call to have him actually do that because the rest of this team doesn't have, oh, I guess they have pretty good disengage actually, with the last pick Lulu being locked in. Provides a knock-up for Yasuo, plus some good mobility for the rest of the squad.
We're looking at that. We'll see if they can get Doublelift quite fed on Vayne. While the teams load into the game, let's check with LOLesports.com to see who you think will win this matchup. According to them and the voting, it's 61% in favor of Curse to come out on top.
People don't look like they have confidence in all the CLG role swapping, I guess. Because maybe this was one too many swaps for them, and they wanted to see Hotshot back. But it's pretty close, considering the votes that we had for the first 2 games.
Yeah, 90s.
I'd say this is neck and neck.
The 90% votes. This one a little bit closer. Talking about that Doublelift on Vayne in the end, first time on Renekton for him, so more of a carry position as like a Zac utility bounce around for the team.
I did talk about how he gets very confident off of good early play, though. Renekton could be a trap for Nien if he gets super confident of the early bullying that he gets to do with Renekton and goes for one of those dives. Could be the same old story.
There still could be some habits there. We all know Nien started playing top lane last year, but he, as himself said, he will excel in that lane, and he has done so. So if he can keep it going within this matchup, within the spring split.
I really do want to see if he is able to work with Link well, because like I said before in Champion Select, like that's a great jungle invading duo of top and jungle there with Renekton and Shyvana. If they can work together and coordinate their efforts, then they could actually have a pretty good influence on that blue side jungle of Curse.
All right, so Dominate going with Nunu this time. Nobody's stealing his buffs. He's going to be able to stop Alpha from getting any of that blue buff nonsense.
So I want to point out the reason Curse are going for this invade, their support has actually started a bunch of wards. We usually see people just line up and play the level 1 very passively because they've all gone for Dorans for the double lane there. But Curse starting a bunch of old style wards here, even Nunu grabbing one. They're getting some early map control so they can choose their lane and look for the counter jungling from Nunu.
This is finally not the line of scrimmage setup that we've seen every game. Curse wants to really break the flow of that early game, and now this makes CLG wonder, you know, we don't know where these wards are going down, and they're all regular ones.
Well, they've got a 1 pink one in the river there that gets taken out before minions even spawn. Afromu, at this point in the game, Afromu is the MVP for CLG.
If it's not a blue buff, it's a pink ward.
That was actually huge for them because that thing was expected to last at least 10 minutes for Curse because They don't expect a lot of roaming early, but putting it down so early before minions are even up is risky.
Let's see what they do about these lanes, though. Looks like they are sending Cop top. I was going to say they might lose out on some experience since they're all so roamed, but they get back into position.
Right, and that lane swap, as I said, all the supports usually start Dorans, is for the combat in the 2v2. Lane swapping, since he only got consumables, seems like the logical choice here for Curse, and it's up to CLG to react. You can see the movements already. Renekton trying to farm jungle. He does see dominate, so they're aware that this was just an even red buff trade, and he's going to try and farm up in the jungle and wait for that 2v1 top lane to push up.
Ooh, boy. Getting harassed by Chowster a little bit there, and he won't be able to really attack back for another few levels. Actually, never mind. I thought he was going to wait for his level 2 combo, but he got a nice auto attack passive and the Q there.
So on that Yasuo in the mid lane here, this matchup, it's very interesting. I like going Yasuo into this because we've seen how he can get early kills. And Chowster started with his dash level 1. What you can do if you're really, really aggressive is charge up your dash by using it on minions. Once you max it out with 4 stacks, then go for the burst onto Voyboy and make use of your shield to even get an auto attack there. That's really where you want to thread in your aggressive playstyle with your passive playstyle. Yasuo, you have to really work around that flow to make use of your shield and time that with your aggression.
And with that, with being able to stack those up, we're actually just waiting on a quick sound issue with Zkent. What is the kill potential for Yasuo, even against the Ziggs? Is it level 1, level 2, or is it just level 1?
Depends on how crazy you are. I mean, I've seen people go for level 1 kills with Yasuo before. Usually you're going to wait at least till you get some more items there. And wait to go super aggressive till they get static shiv. Right. The all-in potential is actually there. We talked about it on Kha'Zix, how he can assassinate Ziggs. But Yasuo, if you're willing to go just crazy aggressive and charge up that dash, then he can actually do similar things.
We'll see what kind of attention that aggression pulls to the mid lane. Nien and both Quas have not really made themselves over to the top side just yet. And Quas has not been getting any farm experience either on any jungle camps.
Yeah, just a little taste for you there. Jungle action, we see Link moving over to the white. I like that he's going to take that camp. A lot of people ignore it early on the new jungle champions. It hurts a lot. Shyvana is pretty well equipped to actually take it down with the percentage damage that she can get for herself.
And a little bit of the changes to the items, too, kind of helps you stay healthy in the jungle. So that works out. All the junglers are happy about those coming in. With this game, a little bit of a pause, but looking at CLG's side as we're getting screen fixtures on Quas fixed up right there. Nien and Link both on Renekton and Shyvana. We were talking about a huge front line there, and they also have Yasuo. So it's almost like a triple dive buddy composition once they get to that fighting phase.
It is a very short-range team for CLG. They're looking for more team fights rather than sieging up here and looking for split-pushing late game. They wouldn't really like to play that long-range game. So I like that. I like that point. But I really want to talk about the 2v1 split push or switch.
Right.
Because this is a really big thing that happened in the last game where TSM, they were on the receiving end of the 2v1 switch. And what they did is Odd1 got the dragon right before the top turret went down, since top turrets take longer to take now.
Right.
And so that means that the objective that you usually answer with if the other team freezes their top lane after the turret's gone was not available.
Right.
And XGG did not make anything happen. So they got sort of destroyed by this very old strategy that was around since before Season 1 of freezing a lane. After your top turret goes down, if you just last hit the minions, then your opponents are so low level, it's very dangerous for them to extend and come get you. And they don't, at that point in the game, they don't have assassins to come kill you back there. So it's, I'm very interested to see how Curse deal with that situation, because they have Nunu, so that's also great dragon control.
Right.
If they're able to time this exactly how TSM did, then it could work out in their favor.
It looks like they're going for the 3v1, but a great ward from Nien coming out in the brush thwarts that, at least for damage towards him. He can stay safe. This turret, though, won't be the same.
Yeah, they're working for the turret really early.
That Blood Boil.
Minus 20 damage per attack from champions. If you just have super quick attack speed, then they're definitely making up for it here.
How's Blood
Jinx
Boil
is
and Jinx passive?
pretty much the best tower taker early, and they're going to rush that one down.
So this is going to be a 3-minute, 46-second turret down in the favor of Curse. It looks like they're going to be able to control that lane. Since the junglers are not there, like we saw in the Cloud9 game, these guys are going to keep going for the second tier.
Now, the question of the super early dragon for CLG is up right now. Because, oh, Chowster has to burn his flash already.
Very interesting.
So the question of that early dragon. Now, you can do it this early. It takes a long time, and you do take a lot of damage unless you're able to micro the turns very well using the aggro reset of dragon. If you go in and out with your support, I guess Mad Life has made it really popular, so we can give some credit to him. But still, it takes so much to go for that, and the dragon's not worth that much early that a lot of teams will opt to just wait for a later one anyway, since CLG have control of that area. They can actually sit on this.
Link actually going back on his first buy, grabbing up a Doran shield for himself. We thought he was going to have to help in that stop.
So there's obviously they're going for the super fast push here. They've taken out one turret that has the extra champion reduction, damage reduction on it, and they're already looking at the second one here. This is a pretty good setup for taking the early turrets since they're support ranged as well, and Nunu Blood Boiling was able to get a lot of damage.
They do back off. Doublelift and Aphromoo were actually forced to come up after pushing the bottom lane themselves, but you are right. Curse is running amok around the map right now, trying to grab all the turrets that they can. I don't think they've gotten too much damage onto the bottom turret of CLG. But that's because they've traded evenly now. 5.5 minutes and a little bit of a gold lead in favor of CLG, but that's only from these lanes.
And since Jinx was focusing so much on getting the turret damage down and getting it down very fast, actually a few less CS. So Vayne already out to a pretty good start here. Doublelift very happy that he's been able to keep his CS numbers up.
They're working the pink ward. There are 4 members of Curse bottom. I was going to say this would be a little dangerous to be going for Dragon, but it looks like they're just here for the defense, and Link will be off on the side for help. Yeah,
so the window where the power discrepancy because of the 2vs1 swap is gone, because Curse have already rotated their AD and support, and that was pretty much a Dragon check there. Defending a turret against this heavy siege, though, is going to be rough.
Curse is going to need to get some wards down here. They're pressuring in towards the Dragon Pit. We can see that they have one just above them and one below for safety. And they should have this. Smite, Consume on Dominate should be quite easy.
All right, so Dominate is maxing his Ice Blast, so it's not like he's maxing Consume or anything to go for super early. Just the level 1 is enough. Since you have plenty of... it's really... Nobody should ever outsmite the Nunu combo. But it has been done.
We think.
We've seen it.
We think. The turret's going to be taking some good damage here. A lot of range to be used on the turret, so nobody has to get in too dangerous of a position, and that's a good thing for this Curse team because you can easily get caught up.
Man, this Curse, they're putting so much into the early game. Look at Voidboy. He's got 3 Doran rings here. So they're just all going super early gambit on taking all the outer turrets.
Wow. That happens when you're not used to playing against something. You get a little too close, you get hit by Nunu. Nunu slows you down. You see how much extra damage Link took there just because he couldn't get out. Had to blow his flash.
I mean, this is a really great comp that Curse has come out with. I can't really think of anything that would even be better for sieging. They got Janna's shield to add attack damage on whoever Nunu blood boils, which is going to be Jinx. Who already has plenty of attack speed, so they can take down turrets, but will they get hard engaged on?
They got a good pinch here, Kobe. It looks like it for sure. Link is not 6 yet, though. Nien just hits it and throws on the Dominus. Voidboy is, but he's out of mana, and the ultimate is down from previous. Link just trotting along. The last bomb, no, it's going to be hit up by Nunu. Dominate comes up with first blood.
And Quas teleporting in right there was able to keep off the rest of CLG from further aggressing and closing in on Curse. So even before Curse have hit the point where they've got Janna ultimate to rely on and Nunu ultimate to rely on for disengage, they still were able to get away from the hard engage of CLG because them themselves, they don't have their ultimates either. It's just a very, very... well played by Curse. They're showing so much diversity in the types of strategies that they're deciding to run.
Really pressuring their opponent before they have the capacity to take on all of these priorities, all these tasks that Curse is putting on the map. Top turret, then mid pressure, and people aren't even 6 yet. So like you said, Curse is really in the driver's seat.
Yeah, but they've only taken 1 outer turret so far. They got a lot of good damage on that mid one, but this team is so focused on taking the early objectives. They've actually, you know, they're only even on turrets, and the lead really coming from the Dragon.
Yeah.
So they do need to take down another one here.
It'd be nice if they can get themselves a few kills and bolster up those champions before they move on to the mid phase of the game. CLG does have that composition we said can dive on through, and they're only going to get to that point, or they are going to get to that point, rather.
They're also going to get to the point where Double Lift will get a Blade of the Ruin King and be basically a perfect split pushing answer to Quas. At this point, he doesn't have it, so it's really rough for him. But once he does hit that, then they're going to hit that stage where they've got a good answer. It's just that Curse are really working against the clock, so they're trying to get as much of an advantage before CLG are able to get to that point.
Quas doing a good job in the bottom lane, has blown the flash of Double Lift, which may be the look that Curse is trying to get right now.
Oh yeah, they're doing a good job circling around Double Lift. Oh, he's so dead. There's not even anything to say about that.
Absolute Zero goes down, tries to tumble into some type of damage. Dominate picks up 2. He's got to be careful how many he gets here.
Oh, the rotation here through the jungle. Look at the wards that are littered through this blue side jungle by Curse. They started just from level 1 with Janna going all consumables, and they have not let up. Now it's up to CLG, though, to answer back. So many resources from Curse committed to that bottom lane. They need to make up for it on the other side of the map.
It's not going to be easy, Kobe. You have a Jinx and a Void Boy that's eventually, I think, going to build into a Lich Bane, and they're already taking down turrets with that Blood Boil on Jinx. It's just synergizing so well right now, and they're going for more.
Yeah. Stacking Blood Boil plus Janna for the attack damage and attack speed.
The shield.
It just synergizes so well. And since they have Ziggs, who is the tower siege mid lane, it's like, that's why I was saying at the beginning of this, I can't think of a better sieging comp for early game. They've got pretty much all-stars in each of these positions, and then Mundo to soak damage and take teleport in the off lanes and just try and hold off the CLG retaliation.
Yeah, Quaz knows exactly what he needs to do on Mundo. Win-loss on that champion so far. This one, they look to make it another win, and he's, as we said, kind of an unsung hero. He plays the lane safe, but right now he's actually helping to control everything that Curse has right now in these side lanes.
Right, his job is cleanup duty, and just to try and go to the split lane, get as fed as he possibly can, so that their outer turrets don't take, or their side turrets don't take too much damage in response to these moves that Curse are making, the very bold moves where they commit 4, 5 people to a single place on the map.
Yeah. Just trying to be that huge distraction. Very close. Zekan trying to bait out a little aggression there, staying in range of Chouster, but he does not bite. Nice wind wall for the bomb. Looks like we got a ping going down towards Dragon. 47 seconds on the clock, and it looks like both teams are going to start setting up some vision.
So 40 seconds. CLG need to time this very well because they've just sent Nien top. He's only got 30 more seconds to shove that wave and make his way down. No teleport means that if he stays up there for even like 15 more seconds, then they won't be able to contest the next dragon. You can't steal it away from Nunu.
No.
So getting close to that area is even rough because Ziggs controls areas so well. He can zone out the paths over to Dragon pretty easily.
Let's see what Curse can do here. Possibly force CLG into a fight that leads into this Dragon. We just saw Nien in the top lane swinging furiously with his Tiamat to push the lane, so now he can rotate, but he's rotating back right over a pink ward, so they're going to know he's coming behind.
Yeah, they're looking for the collapse here, but warding behind you really paying off for Curse, and they cut him off.
Yep. Gonna find him right. Oh, the zap hits him. They get Nien. He takes the long way around, and he's gonna find 4 members of Curse. He can't get through the wall. Void Boy gets the kill.
All the money spent on consumables paid off. It cost them a dragon, though. So CLG making the best of a bad situation. Since Nien's killed on the top side of the map, they make a rush for the gold as quickly as they can. And CLG, Curse, the obvious option is to shove up that mid lane here. And since CLG are out of position, hard to answer because they don't have Nien, and it's a 4-on-5.
Pushing down on this mid turret. great curse wards around them to keep themselves safe. And it comes from having a Nunu as well, able to build a Sightstone along with Janna. They just full control.
Exactly. Just littering the map with wards so that they're able to make these smart decisions. The rotations are well informed for Curse because they have so much more information from the map.
Oh.
That's why they were able to get that pick on Yen and why they shoved up mid so quickly.
Says you can't hide in the bush. Cop finding the end there. And it looks like CLG is doing somewhat of a pincer, but also just making sure their jungle is clear. They do not want to have to go in there in any dangerous position. Baron could definitely be an option here in the next 7 or so minutes with the way that things are going. Cop's ready to stack his Bloodthirster 14 minutes in.
Ooh, speaking of item thresholds, Chowster does have the static shiv now. He skipped boots to try and get that quickly. So it's a huge power point for Yasuo, but still, CLG are playing so reactively because Curse are switching this strategy up here and playing something that's not expected from them. You know, we usually expect, oh, a bunch of assassins, Voidboy plays weird things, Quas plays weird things. But because they're bringing out this very coordinated tower pushing and dragon killing strategy,
right?
CLG, not expecting it, still playing very reactively.
And that's causing Chowster. We saw when Voidboy played Yasuo, he was roaming all the time. But with this push you're talking about, he's stuck in lane.
Exactly. They haven't had time to make roaming plays of their own because they're always trying to play defense and catch up to Curse.
Yeah. Always makes it a difficult position when you're coming from behind. The pink wards being cleared out and also set up. A little bit of danger there for Z-Kent, but he gets the Blood Boil. They're going to get red.
It's just so nice to actually see Nunu played to his strengths. You don't play Nunu like a regular jungler.
Right.
These are the types of strategies where he really shines. And he is showing up big, not only controlling dragons, but also the buffs there, pretty big as well. So CLG, really what they have to do is try and just stem the bleeding, hold on to as many turrets as they can, and try to farm up because they do have some good late game answers, but Curse are pushing the limits here, and they're not letting them get to that point.
Talking about pushing, Quas was just cleaning up the mid lane, and now he comes together with the team right across the red buff of CLG.
Whoa.
Mega Inferno to the backside. Double is forced to flash.
Mega misses at times too.
Death Rocket and Inferno Bomb coming in. Looks like they are going to somewhat back off, but you can see that CLG still respects the regular ability power of Curse.
So it's already super annoying to try and defend turrets against Ziggs. Oh, here we go, double slowed.
So close, the Ice Blast just on the outside. He's going to give it to Nia. Had to hit somebody. It was the foul and the one after. 16 minutes on the clock, and there's 3 kills. That's it. This game is almost happening like it did last time, but with the kills happening a bit earlier.
Right, and CLG are just pinned up inside of their base. If they make the move, what it's going to look like is Link going in for a Dragon's Descent to try and hit Cop. If anybody displaces Cop, then Chowster will immediately Yasuo ult him, and that will be just a hard engage all in from CLG. But if they don't get to that point, then it's going to be another outer turret.
Kobe, we're 16 minutes into the game, and Curse is hard sieging the top inhibitor right now. CLG is just taking damage from this and hardly trading back.
I mean, I'm so impressed with this Curse early shoving strategy that they're pulling out here, and they're playing it flawlessly. I think they're going to get this outer turret as well. CLG have to pull the trigger for an all-in.
Jinx and Nunu wreaking havoc on turrets, and Link tries to stop it, but there is the counter engage. They've been waiting for the Monsoon to any dive in, and it worked perfectly.
And now they don't have any jumps for Link, so it'll have to be maybe Nien trying to use his Slice and Dice plus Flash to get in there for a Lulu knockup. And that's really desperate for them because he has to get his way through a minefield that Voidboy's laying down, and it's looking pretty grim here for CLG.
Great zoning potential coming from this Curse team. Nien now trying his hand,
there,
but with half health, the wild growth onto him instantly. Chowster flashes, but the exhaust is on, so will the damage be enough? No, it won't. Voidboy's alive, and they take down Chowster. 2 kills for Quas as he comes up big. Whoa! Almost a damage to Paul. Not enough water in that one.
All right, so they will get the outer turret here. Inhibitor turret going down. Probably can stay for an inhibitor because both Chowster and Nien went down. I just have to, again, hats off to Curse here.
And they're baiting in these next kills, maybe getting a little actually dangerous in their positioning, but they feel like they can turn around. This time they back out.
Okay, they pull the retreat because it's so early in the game, the death timers are not long at all. Let's take another look at this. So they actually do get that Nien initiation that I was talking about, and Chowster went in for the ultimate there on Voy, but he gets exhausted, and he's all by himself. Yeah. Nothing that he can do to finish it off.
Really great plays there by Z-Kent on the Monsoon, and then to hit the exhaust to keep Voy alive. On point with that support play right there. 5 minutes into the game and 18 minutes, or 5 minutes in. 5 kills into the game in 18 minutes. They're two different things. 28,000 is the gold score to 23, and we'll see if Curse can hold this. Like you said, very impressive play from them right now. They've been checking off everything on their list and doing it one after the other.
Exactly. They're just showing so much diversity that we did not expect from Curse. I mean, they're a very flexible team. This is definitely going to make people think twice about their matchup versus Curse, because you do not want to let them get all of these champions. This, like we said, is pretty much the dream team for taking out early objectives.
Yep, absolutely. They show they can bring it out, and especially dominate, you know, showing that a dream team can be formed. His champion pool has really played a big role for Curse, just with what he's been able to bring to the table.
Yeah, pretty much every player on this team is very flexible.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why they were able to get the surprise here for CLG. But this all being said, it was a great start for Curse. They can't let up the push. As I said, they're working against the clock here, so they need to press this advantage and end the game before CLG get enough items that they can actually all in and kill someone. Or have the Vayne split push, who has actually not gone for Blade of the Ruined King here. He's gone with the old double special Bloodthirster. So he's not looking for that 1v1 with Quas.
Right. Didn't work out for him last time. He got flashed out of that one, or had to use his flash, I should say. Looking at Chowster, as he is still trying to piece together, goes for the critical cloak to just get that critical strike out, because it's the impact he's looking for in the fight.
Yeah. I guess that's probably the right call, because Doublet's probably too far behind even at this point. Even if he did go for Blade of the Ruined King, it'd be really rough for him to deal with Quas. Since Quas has been the cleanup man and gotten so much of the side lane farm and 2 kills, he's pretty much hit that Mundo point where the AD is not going to hurt him at all.
CLG do have the wards necessary up towards Baron. You see they have pink wards. They have wards clearing all the way out into the river. So if something happens or they are in a type of chase fight, they could get some good kills.
So the way to end this out for Curse is just slow play the push up top and wait for Quas to work in towards that turret. You can see how far back they're playing. They know that they have really good disengage, but they don't want to blow those cooldowns. As long as Z-Kent holds on to his ult and Dominate does the same, they've got the answer for the all-in from CLG. And they don't want to blow those, because if they do, then that will be the signal for CLG to make their move.
Very risky movements by CLG. We just had Aphromoo backing in the jungle. Looks like Link is still trying to focus his way back in. That could be pincering here.
They're trying to flank around the back here, and it looks like Shyvana did get in range.
Oh, again! Oh, no way! He just threw Dragon off. You didn't even see it? No, he did not put it off. All right. Thought I heard it. Did not happen. So Link still has the ultimate.
Going down there.
There he goes. Throws it in as the Monsoon was used. Here we go on to Cop. Cop puts the barrier on. Now trying to orb walk out of this fight. Doesn't even have the Blood Boil on him right now. Chowster doing work to Z-Kent in the back line, but that's not where the damage coming from. But CLG has grabbed positioning on this fight. Quas is forced to join in here, but they may get each other killed.
So that was, Quas is going to get locked up here. Yep. It looks like they don't want to let him go. But that was the cooldown I was talking about. Curse blow Janna ulti to stop the Shyvana invade, but then they keep pushing after their defensive cooldowns have been used, and CLG capitalize on it right there.
Very nice job by Link baiting out the Monsoon there.
The flash steal, his flash is not up.
His flash is not up, and there's a lot to stop him.
Yeah, the call is just kill Nunu as soon as he walks at us. Don't let him near Baron. Very easy turn for CLG.
Quite a bit of damage. This is good. They have Condemn on the outside. He's not even going to get close to this anymore. Bam, right into the wall. He's going to be hit up by Doublelift a few more times. Z-Kent tries to get the Howling Gale steal in. 1 in a million.
Oh, that timer. The timer I was talking about is clicking down here. Curse really needs
It's starting to weigh against Curse, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Baron buff is going to buy CLG a few more seconds on that clock, so very, very huge turn of events in that top lane.
Kobe, like you said, when it comes to it, Janna and Nunu aren't going to be huge damage dealers in these fights. So
no, what they are is those cooldowns for the disengage, which they popped and then kept on pushing. So the CLG really did a very good job of capitalizing on that moment.
A game in which we see the 80 carries not having too much effect. 4 assists to Cop. About 1,000 gold lead in favor of him as well, but that's from the pushing, that's from the structures being down on the map, and Doublelift can still be Vayne. There's still power to come from that champion.
Oh, there's a lot of power to come from Vayne. It looks like he is just going with a standard build too. Trying to get crit after this. The Bloodthirster plus Phantom Dancer is a great combo. It's not necessarily tailored towards taking down that Mundo. Just going to be good all around in the fights.
So what kind of fights is CLG looking for if they were to engage one?
They're looking to have the same exact fights where they had top lane. If the Janna ulti is down.
Everything.
But
so it's based on that.
Barring that, you know, they're actually just looking to buy time and get money, try and even up this gold differential before they go for anything. They don't really want to force something right now. As you can see, they're trying to get their resources from all sides of the map, even up the gold here, and get their damage dealing champions fed. Chowster taking up top residence here, and Doublelift taking down bottom.
It's been a bit of a slow game in terms of the inventory for CLG at this point. They're back 3,000 gold, but it's been a bit slow in terms of gold income for them altogether. The Dragons haven't been in their favor. They only have 2 turrets there to their name, and it's really just going to be a mid-split push, or mid-push for them here if they can get it.
You can see the turning of the tides as well, just on the map, because the vision for Curse has dissipated on CLG's side of the map. The wards are pretty much all running out over there. They only have a few left.
Kale's Crucible built up onto Zekent, trying to keep that safety for Cop. We saw him have to use a barrier in that last fight. CLG's front line, those first 2 picks we talked about, they're getting to where they need to be.
And they're doing that by flanking. Like CLG, they have to have flanking engages, as we saw up top here. Chowster looking to finish Quas.
He goes pretty hard. The abilities have been used. The ulti as well. Looks like he doesn't have enough to take down the ultimate of Mundo.
Ooh, yeah, got to be careful to get every little step in between attacks and in between abilities on Yasuo really matters, because not only does it charge up your flow, but also your static ship. So don't want to spend any time standing still there. He does get 50% armor penetration though, or bonus armor penetration after he uses his ult, so that's the time where he'll go aggressive after he uses it. But since he was running out of flow there, didn't have a shield to rely on, had to flash out.
We'll see if they can make any plays here. Voyboy now has a Zanya's. The Randuin's has been finished by Quas. He used that in the last engagement we just saw. So a lot of items that helps utilize the synergy of their team comp in these fights are being completed. And it's all defensive looking at CLG. It's not bad for them. They're still building what they need, but it's not what Curse has.
Yeah, I mean, Infinity Edge now for Chowster 2. He's got the combo, the go-to combo of Yasuo. That's his giant power spike that he gets when he finishes both of those. And then Doublelift also sitting on the 2 items he has decided to rush here. So CLG, they've at least gotten that foothold back. And you can see how they wanted to press it down bottom. They were able to get those 2 turrets because of this massive ward coverage, the 3 pink wards on the bottom side of the map.
And why so many pink wards on the bottom side now, this late in the game with Baron being an objective?
So Baron is very dangerous to go for with a split or a tower sieging comp like this. If they get caught in the Baron pit, it's really good spot for CLG to get either Nien or Link into the middle of the team, and then one Lulu ult chained into a Yasuo ult would be just a massacre inside that pit. So the team, this Curse team really wants to siege up, and being sort of huddled up inside of a little pit is a poor positioning.
Let's see, possible catch here. The Randuin's Omen thrown off. Nien looks to get ice blasted, and that is going to be super slow for him. Another slow. So many stacking slows coming from this team. It's impossible to get away.
The pit going to be huge for Curse, but Link has been split pushing bottom here. They actually could just give up that inhibitor and trade inhibitor turret down by, oh no, Quas recalled, and he has teleport. So pretty much they had all the answers. That was actually very good by CLG, counting on Quas's recall because he has teleport.
Chaucer trying to get a wind wall out of the Ice Blast. We'll see the teleport in, so it's not going to be anything to start an engagement, but they are going to be forcing CLG off of this.
Yeah, 8 seconds here for Nien. Nien does not have home guards, so he'll be coming out at regular speed.
That is not good for Double Lift. And another one so close to hitting him in the backside. The inhibitor goes down easy. Again, the Dragon's Descent backed off by the Monsoon coming out huge from Zken. A huge missile to the back line on the rocket. Double Lift can't even participate in this fight. He is trying to, though. Off to the fountain with him, and Curse takes the inhibitor with a bit of a fight.
CLG all need to be getting those home guards right now. Link and Nien both have them. And if Chaucer needs to upgrade his boots before he can get them, but the defense was there. I was pretty sure they were going to have to give up that inhibitor, and that's all that they had to give up, though. So another pretty good hold for CLG, and as we look at the gold here, it's really creeping back up for them. So they're definitely making a strong stand, even though they've got that giant gaping hole on the top of their base.
It's starting to fold out into more of a normal type game rather than the last game we had, because that's what it looked like coming in at 20 minutes. It was only 3-0, and Curse was already in the base of CLG. But CLG's been able to find those kills on the right people. Double Lift kind of wants a few, but they are going to Chaucer. Hopefully he can start making plays. That Infinity Edge is finished, and that's what they really need. He's going to start the split push.
So Chaucer has his ultimate to rely on for armor penetration, but as you said in the last fight, Double Lift can't do much to the front line because Quas has so much armor. Double Lift has to get a Last Whisper before he can, start hurting, even denting this front line. So he really is going to have to wait a little bit more. CLG need to buy some more time for him to grab a Last Whisper before they really want to go for that decisive team fight win.
And really something to point out on Curse, we said it a little bit before, but the synergizing slows. Every champion has a slow on this team to keep you locked up, and they've used it multiple times to get picks.
So it's two uses there for the slows. Really heavy disengage, which is what you need for these tower sieging compositions, and also for chase potential. Like you said, when their supreme ward coverage takes effect and they see Nien out of position, then they can capitalize on it.
CLG still remembering to get the pink wards out. They're trying to keep those objectives covered, but right now they are on the back foot. Not doing too bad throughout the lanes, and you can, this is interesting to point out, Kobe, is that Link is on 145 CS, and it's 54 for Dominate. He has been focusing with the team.
Yeah, the Nunu, definitely not someone who tries to farm very hard.
Right.
The benefits come from the objective control and the ward coverage. So,
well, it's definitely been beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. The way that Curse have built this team, though, said it in the beginning, the two threats, Jinx and Ziggs, are going to have to carry so much weight. And as we get later and later into the game, they're going to be less of a threat because Jinx, if she ever gets displaced at all, one knock up, one knock aside, one knock back, means Chaucer's going to be right on her and he's going to obliterate her. That's pretty much most of the damage gone for Curse, and that's how you crack this sieging type of team that they've built.
Usually you get a Jinx, you'll get a Thresh, something to lantern her away or keep her safe. But here,
well, Janna's pretty good.
Janna does the deal. Monsoon gets the team away and keeps your AD safe. We see more pressure coming in now on the bottom turret. That Baron is up for anything that happens after this.
All right, so again, I wouldn't be surprised to look for a flanking here because CLG have had a hard time engaging from the front. It looks like both tanks are stuck at the turret, though. If they can get somebody behind the sides, they might have more luck.
Waiting for the next wave. It's just coming past the white here as they get a little bit of clear out. We can see the Alpha Moose trying to hover in from the side. Possibly a good place to Wild Growth to jump in here.
And that wind wall was used not during a creep wave. So it just bought time for the rest of CLG to get back to this turret. Have to see if they pull the trigger because the turret doesn't have much more life left.
Glitter Lance going out onto Void Boy. And it looks like Link may, yes, he's going to join Alpha Moon on the side now.
They're looking for the flank. They do have a sweeper, so they can take out the vision, and they've got behind them.
They're going to pat this one in. It's going to be Link waiting to hit it. There it goes. Oh, he hits him with the Howling Gale in midair. And the Monsoon goes after. That's going to be the HP heal, but it's Void Boy going down very fast. CLG is on a rampage here, and the health bars of Curse are just dropping. Cop goes down. Quas follows after, and Zken is being chased out of the fight. He is the last member alive, and he will be the last member to go down.
And they've cracked that sieging strategy from Curse. Just as I expected, flank around the side. Great movement from Link and Aframu here. Aframu starts it out by clearing out vision, and then Link, all you have to do is touch him, get that small displacement. Chowster, 1300 range on Yasuo, able to get in there. And once Void Boy Zanya's, Chowster immediately changes targets to Cop. With only 2 threats, those are the only 2 targets he has to go for, and all the damage being on the run meant that Double Lift got to just fire away that entire team fight. Those are the situations where Vayne thrives because all the attention is on Curse running away. Double Lift just gets to output damage the entire time.
You've been talking about it all along, Kobe. The ticking time bomb seems to have gone off here, and it's all in their favor now. It's on their terms. CLG's in the lead.
This is quite a beautiful game to watch here.
Yeah.
I really like the progression from both teams. It was just a very, very small turn of events in the top side. One push up from Curse without Janna's cooldown ready, and they got caught. And from that point, CLG were able to get that small foothold in the game and got them right back in it.
Curse going to do what they can, getting up the Dragon for a little bit more gold. We'll see a Spirit Visage coming out of Nian, just built up. He's got another Kindle Gem. Actually, he does undo on the Spirit Visage buy. Undo again, and then, okay. So he's just working it. He's got some investment plans going on.
Who are you looking at here, Nian?
Yeah, he's buying and selling and undoing.
Trying to trick you up there? All right. Well, he does have, it looks like he's sticking with this combo because he's left the base. I do like that he's got a Tiamat for extra damage when he gets into the back line now. Because they're going to have sustain. So everybody here in the crowd is kind of making noise because of this.
Because of what? What do you mean? I don't see it.
This is really what they have left for them. Because the siege isn't going to work. They got to go for the picks.
Nian gets hit up. He goes for the slice and dice, and he's forced to flash over the wall. Very good choice on not following. That would have been super strung out for Curse, and I don't think the follow-up would have been there. But again, coming around from the side, CLG thinks they might have it.
There's a ward where Quas is, though, so they've got him cornered here.
Oh, he gets condemned against the wall. A very nice hit. The Monsoon plays back, and they want to engage onto this. Double Lift is on the backside with Wild Growth in a very safe position. Dominate just gets crushed down by the Silver Bolts. Link now on the outside. Flame Breath's in, but Curse has a bit of structure now in the lane, and it looks like they only lose 1.
4 versus 5, though. They only lose 1. 4 versus 5, CLG are able to take somebody out. Chowster the whole time working that top lane, and it seems as though we're past that clock. It's run out for Curse. CLG just too powerful at this point. They can beat him in the team fight, and the siege is not going to work anymore.
As much chase as they can put on this to stop Curse from getting back to base. The only members right now are all running, and it looks like they may lose the inhibitor for this as well.
It's an easy rotation from CLG too to go right over to mid lane, and they should get another inhibitor turret before Dominate even respawns. Nope, just kidding. Janna Shield saves the day.
Amazing job staying level-headed in this game by CounterLogic Gaming so far. Now 8,000 gold up after really being down. The gold stayed near, but now they've have a huge lead, 7-7 in turrets, and that only happened in the past few minutes. So that gold has been a giant influx of money for them.
Yeah, now looking at it from Curse's perspective, they're pretty much in a crisis right now, crisis mode. They're trying to figure out a way to save their back line from the Yasuo comboed all in. And it's really not popping out for them. They don't have much answers. As soon as Void Boy Zanya's, he just changes targets. He gets right on top.
You know, the engage is really hard for Curse right now. We saw them pushing turrets like they were just butter falling, a hot knife. And now once they get to a turret, they can't get by it.
So, you know, the Siege comp is also extremely good at counter Siege because they have Ziggs. Like, that's massive wave clear. Janna also even helps out with wave clear, so...
They got their own clock to run down.
Exactly. They can defend very well, and they can Siege very well, but it's whenever there's no turret around that they really fall down.
Pretty good denial on damage there from the wind wall, and you see it's enough to take down the turret, so they only need a few instances to make it happen.
Looks like Afromu a little bit caught out on the side, but again, only the 2 damage sources that both have to play very defensively for Curse means it's hard for them to follow up on stuff like that.
Going to have to be a big swing for CLG to fall out of grace here. Maybe a Baron, but that would be too risky at this point. They've done a great job at getting themselves the lead. Chauster, after not really getting anything in the laning phase, is now to full build, mainly on his own.
Yeah, well, nobody in CLG had any time to get anything in the laning phase because Curse were doing that hard push early and taking all the objectives. So CLG are all in scatter mode. Now, since they've had time to regroup at the very last step there when they're inside their base, they can now finally push out and go on the offensive.
Seeing a little bit more about the Nunu pick. They're not warding as much, and it really looks like they're losing control of the map just overall.
They don't have the power to fight CLG in a straight-up team fight anymore. So even roaming around as 5, it's dangerous for them to step out onto Summoner's Rift. That's why you can see they're all around turrets. They're all huddling. Well, I guess the turret's dead. They're all around remnants of a turret.
So what are your chances? You know, we see Curse having the siege strat when it kind of goes beyond that brink, when you're kind of past being able to siege. What are their options?
As we saw, going for the Fnatic Bush style.
Oh, right.
It's really the PowerPoint of their champions that they've chosen has sort of passed. So it has to be a massive outplay. It has to be a mistake from CLG. That's why you could see CLG, even at this point, being very careful. When their Baron buff ran out, you know, even 5 seconds before it ran out, they decided to recall from that mid lane. They backed off the inhibitor. They didn't want to overextend their welcome. Because they have superior team fighting at this point, they now have control of the objectives that are deeper in the map, like Baron and like Dragon. So they don't have to press, and they can wait for those things to come up.
A lot of damage to come out of Chaucer and Doublelift now. Double Infinity Edge, and the Infinity Edge combined with that Phantom Dancer giving Doublelift maximum power on those shots. They are ready and raring to get into these fights. And they're playing with the style that they know they have the upper hand now.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have to worry about anyone peeling the Mundo off him because all of Curse are focused on the CLG dive. They're all sort of in retreat, and Doublelift gets to make use of his invisibility and mobility with Tumble to get around the tanks. Even though the tanks have stacked Randuins and they've got Blade Mails here, he's been doing a fine job of taking them out because he has so much lifesteal with Bloodthirster and the armor penetration with Last Whisper.
And the rest of the pressure from CLG is so great that we see Zcan periodically just blowing the Monsoon in, you know, being scared in fear of the aggressions that CLG is bringing to the table. So they definitely have Curse now on the back foot, giving a little bit of their own medicine. We got 41 minutes into the game. Not running too long for what these teams would be on average game length. 67,000 gold, however, to 56. So Curse really looking to build possibly off of this, but they don't have any wards moving out.
Yeah, as I said, this is CLG's domain at this point in the game. Anything outside of Curse's base is very risky for Curse to go for, and they just wait for the Baron to come back up, grab it on respawn. Now they can go for exposed inhibitors, not having to fight this siege team around turrets, and they should be able to shove the waves in and then get those fairly easily because Curse aren't the ones really looking for the hard engage. They've really sort of passed their prime.
Yep, shoving the waves in should be quite easy with the wards that CLG has presented now in Curse's jungle. And they're doing what they can to stave off this attack. They've done well so far, but we'll have to see what Baron gives CLG on this next attempt.
They even go for the super safe play of shoving all 3 lanes in here for CLG. Instead of just going for the mid and top, they're playing just extremely safe. Now what the only opportunity is catching somebody out.
That was a Talisman of Ascension used there too, so they want Chauster on this. Looks like they are going to get him. Doublelift putting himself in a scary situation here. It may be enough though. The knock up in the lockdown, the armor pen is applied, and it looks like they're going to be able to get Quas as well. Those are the plays Counter Logic Game was looking for. Boy, you're way too close. 3 shots, another kill, a triple kill. Cobb looking to go down as well. Neon with Dominus on. The turret's there, and Aframu's the one taking it, being a bro support. They get out, and CLG just obliterates Curse all over the map.
I have to say, the change in the patch where Yasuo gets full shield after ultimate right there really helped out Chowster, and they were able to obliterate Dominate.
A quick fill up of the flow leaves him smiling, leaves the team doing well, and after just holding out, turtling in their base, it's 43 minutes for CLG and the victory.
A beautiful game.
That was an awesome game.
A beautiful game by both teams.
They never yell at each other, they always hug.
All right, so I have to say once again, I loved Curse's strategy in that game.
It was a great composition.
And they played it so well for the first 20 minutes. It's just very hard to pull that off because, as we saw, one misstep, one fight will get CLG enough money to get back in this game, and they even were able to get a Baron off that, which bought them the extra time. So it was just very well played by both teams, and I have to say, the flanking engage from CLG turned the tables and earned them that W.
You know what impresses me about that as well is it didn't work some of the times, and usually a team would back off. They'd say, no, let's not do it again. But they went back at it, and they went at it even harder.
They had their backs up against the wall. The one inhibitor was already down. When two lanes go down against a sieging comp like that, it's usually all she wrote. But man, they made the last stand when it counted and were able to get back in the game.
It was, like you said, an absolutely amazingly played game. To see Curse lose in that is almost crushing. Every team played very well. Curse played up, like you said, up until 20 minutes, and that's not because they made mistakes. It's just because the composition kind of fizzled out there.
That's why I kept reminding you, getting very excited here. Curse is super far ahead, but those comps are very flimsy. Yeah, exactly. When you get that hard engage and you can actually crack it, they crumble pretty easily.
And this was with Chowster. They were able to come back very nice with a win there, and he brings out Yasuo, who is enabled this week. So back in the lineup. Back in the mix.
And Yasuo, a critical part of that hard engage that you have to do against the Siege. So Chowster really a pillar for this first win for CLG. Really great showing for him coming back.
Bring back the wheelhouse, and things are looking good for Counterlogic Gaming. Right now, we've got to take a quick pause, but when we come back, CLG's new mid laner, Chowster, will join us to talk about his team's big comeback win, and then Snoopy and Evil Geniuses hit the Rift for their first game of the day when they take on Meteos and Cloud9. The 2014 North American LCS will be back. Stick around.
Just go in. We're going to go in on the back line right now.
Yep.
Walk. Boy has no flash. Boy has no flash. Kill voice. I killed him. Okay, good. Dominate. Cop. Is that? Cop dead. Dominate. Nice. Walk. Go mid. Yo. I'm going to flash speed you, okay?
Okay.
Go, walk.
I got her.
Yo, good shit. Let's go. Go mid.
Hey, we need to finish on top of him.
I got it.